Alright guys, welcome. I'm Chad, and this week I'm taking you through a pretty fun project where I fix a pretty small, a minor annoyance with all the tools in my prototyping toolkit. It's a good one, a good result, so let's get into it. Alright, shaky cam. Let's try it. So the whole reason for this exercise is that I found when I was driving, I put my left foot down and then I'd rest my knee against the door, and for a while it just became uncomfortable. A while being like 70,000 miles, so whatever. So I thought, let's build a dead pedal that I can rest my foot on. All right, so I got to back up just a little bit. All right, so we've established what I'm doing. I'm making a dead pedal to put in the truck. Not sure why it doesn't have one, if I'm being honest, but we could fix that. So I have the Husky liners in the truck, and then I basically sprayed the A-sub spray and did a quick 3D scan of the floor pan area. So I didn't get video of that process. Honestly, it took longer to transfer the file than it took to scan it. The scan was super quick, and I was just trying to get some rough data. So here's the scan. Came in just real quick. You can see the detail from the liner came in pretty well. The kick panel area, I'm not sure why. It had plenty of spray on it, but I think I was doing it outside in the daytime, and I think some of the UV light was screwing with it. So either way, I got enough detail from this, did a quick export, pretty low res for what I needed to do. So we bring it into SolidWorks, and that's where the fun begins. So make sure I get it over here where you guys can see it. So I'm gonna back this guy up just a little bit. So right here. Started at the first feature where I just, with some manipulation of planes, I started trying to get something that nestled into the ribbed features of the floor mat. And from there you start doing some trimming, just trying to get everything to fit correctly. Kind of like a coarse reverse engineering, because I don't need to get super fine detail. That's where I'm using the mesh as more of like a guideline. You can spend hours and you don't really gain that much for what my purposes are today. So I'm no expert when it comes to using scan data, but some quick, just first blush, I knew that this is going to take a revision or two to get dialed. I thought I knew what was going to fit well. You see I've got this feature right here is the pedal for the emergency brake, the parking brake. I have it pushed down a little bit. Full retracted is quite a bit higher. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and roll this forward. So this is kind of the design Rev 1. So, and I printed this on the Bambu printer, as well as a drill guide to drill all of the rivet holes. These rivet holes into the base plate were intended to be blind holes. We'll see how that works out in a moment. Parts coming off the Bambu. I really like this PET GCF material. Just prints so nice, beautiful finish. All right, shaky cam. Let's try a first look. My drill template. This was supposed to fit in here, I think. That looks about right. I mean, pretty much looks like the CAD model. And a small depression for your boot. Okay. That's not bad. Let me wipe this up a little bit and I'll mark it with a Sharpie. Hold on. So we've test fit the parts in the truck, at least roughly. They fit pretty much per the CAD model as expected. So got the drill template, just doing a quick layout here to make sure, and then throw a piece of foam under the floor mat and poke some holes. If I could go back in time, I would have Clecoed this together and done a more thorough test fit in the truck, but this is how we learn. So ultimately, not a lot was lost. Had to drill a few rivets out, not the end of the world. I think, as I'm thinking about this now, I think I would have rather used machine screws, and that might have, you'll see I accidentally drilled through the base plate 3D print. I had those as blind holes that actually had some draft in them to like make them funnel shaped, and then the rivets bit down on it, but this worked fine, and then idiot me thought, oh, I'll just RTV the holes, and now they look terrible. So reprinting it made it better anyway. Arrogant me even bent the pin over. So all right, so back in the truck, basically same as before. I'll sprinkle some dirt on the RTV and nobody will ever know. My hope is that if your heel is on this, let's just get in and see. Get the steering wheel out of the way so we can hopefully see something. Nope, I hate it. I hate it. Why do I hate it? What's wrong with it? I thought this would be better. I'm wondering if my toe's a little too high. I think it's actually not terrible. It doesn't have any real structure behind it, so it's quite a bit wiggly, just kind of the function of it being bolted to the floor mat as opposed to bolted to the floor. I'm gonna try, let's hack this guy up and just see if, yeah, I'll be right back. All right, so we're back. Trimmed a little bit off this guy right here, straightened the pin that I prematurely bent to lock it in place. So let's try this. Let's give this another go here. Oh, my left hand is really stupid. Come on, there we go. All right, that aesthetically looks a little better. I think if I reprint this, I'm gonna add a little leg to push the heel forward a little bit, and then keep an angle like this. So we'll see how this feels. Let's just get in and see how it feels. Well, that's immediately better. I think if it was just a little more stable, if it had a little less wiggle. All right, so now looking at it, I think I can add a little post off here just to touch off on the kick panel. I think that'll help. Otherwise, it's not terrible. So, not a bad first try. Let's get a measurement here. I'll add a leg off this and I'll correct the angle there. And then we'll drive around for a little bit. Actually, we might just drive around with a little bit like it is right now and see. It's not bad. I also don't have my, I guess I'm going to wear these. Tuck. Kind of want a bigger indentation for my heel to sit in, but that's not bad. I'm going to reprint that piece. Maybe I'll put lines in that one going this way so that my heel can drop into a groove. And then this one, kind of want this to have a leg over and a angle up, so my top of my foot here nests in that, because I naturally want to like let it rotate All right, let's do a couple quick CAD updates. Call it a day. So not a lot to say this time. Drilling some rivets out, and I did increase the size of that base plate. So got 4 holes that are no longer being used, and then the 4 new holes. It's not watertight anymore, but I think it'll be okay. I'm not so concerned. If I notice that a lot of moisture is getting through to the carpet, then I'll silicone it down or something. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. This is looking very good. All right, so it's the next day. It's today, but all right. So, revision 2. I got it glued in here late last night. So I've got soft touch here with a piece of EPDM foam. So this is what I was talking about. We're coming over and then a little kick up. Probably could have made that taller, but I'm 8 hours away from having it reprinted. I'm feeling pretty confident. I even bent my retaining pin. So I got the lines here, increased the size on this. Feels reasonably stable. Yeah. Get in and show you. Let's get the steering wheel out of the way again. All right. So you see where my foot rides for the throttle. It feels nice. That feels much better. And my heel definitely finds a spot, so I can kind of apply some pressure here. It feels good. All right. And I now feel more comfortable, and I'm not resting my knee on the door panel. So this is a win. This is good. Welcome back to my fuel storage solution. I did add a drip cap, or a drip ledge, I guess, to the top, because these weren't intended to be outside originally. You might notice the color change. It's looking much better. Need to touch up some. I didn't mask anything. I just free-handed it because I was in a hurry. And that one's a little sticky because I painted the door. Let's take a look. So I added a false floor in the bottom, which is gonna be nice. That keeps everything just up off. If it collected a little water, that'll give it some room. And then I've got the second layer, some leftover scraps of aluminum, and then a bolted in ledge. So that gives me nice, easy access to 2 layers. And I still have some volume if I want to add room for small things like small propane tanks or something. Come on. Oh, there we go. Somebody got excited and painted a little too much. So this is looking really nice. Got some fuel storage. Pretty cool. I like it. So this was a fun one. Thanks for following along on this one. This was a smaller project. Sometimes it's nice to start and finish something, in an afternoon, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So it turned out really great. I put a little over 100 miles on it at this point. Definitely feels comfortable. It takes a little getting used to because any change is a change, but this one was pretty fun. So with that, thanks for watching. Yeah, see you guys next week. I'm out. I was thinking as an afterthought, I'll send an email to Husky Liners and see if they want to incorporate it in their floor mat design. So how quick do you think my email gets deleted? Place your votes.